What's going on, guys? I'm Adam. Welcome back to the Yard Office, and joining me once again is my good buddy Jacob Petkowski. How we doing today?
We're doing pretty good.
We're
We're doing
doing
pretty
good.
good.
We're doing good. Before we get started, I want to apologize for it taking so long to do another episode of this. With COVID happening and all that stuff, and me being without internet, it was just a bad combination of trying to get these videos out because I couldn't actually use Discord or anything like that. But we're back, and we actually have a lot to talk about here. We kind of have some breaking news a little bit here. So apparently, Canadian National is doing heritage units, and we know this because the first one of them came from Dansville, New York, at AMP. Which I'm not sure if that stands for anything. It might, but it was Canadian National.
American Municipal things. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm taking a random
But
guess.
it was Canadian National 8952, which was in
Grand Trunk.
Grand Trunk Western paint scheme. So it's mainly blue with the red nose. SC70M-2, and as well as
It wasn't labeled something else on the side. I remember.
all of Canadian
technically NSN M-2, yes, but it said something specific on it.
Yeah, Canadian National marks their stuff really weird.
Canadians are weird.
Yeah, they are. But on top of this, apparently we are getting rumors, and these are photos that just leaked not that long ago, of a BC Rail. My photos keep coming up on this monitor, of a BC Rail and an Illinois Central one. Now, the thing that I thought was interesting right before we started recording this is that the BC Rail one appears to be a ES44, and the Illinois Central one appears to be an ET44, so a Tier 4 GE.
I think the other one's probably a Tier 4 credit unit is my guess.
That would probably be the case. But yeah,
I don't know if there's a pattern with what units they're basing them on or anything
that's what I was wondering. They might just be kind of doing whatever, because I mean the Illinois Central one, I mean you can look at those back fins and you can see that they're slanted like an ET.
Yeah, and I'm really disappointed by that they chose the ET44 because because I don't like the ET44.
You know, I mean, personally, I'm not one for them either. But I mean, Jacob, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
I think it's cool. I mean, I was just sent it this morning by my buddy Jake. He's like, "Yo, look at this." I'm like, "Oh, that's fake." Because it sends me like a nighttime. I'm like, "Oh, it's not fake. Oh, it's near us. Oh, it's in us." Oh God.
Yeah, because there was this first kind of showed up on the internet with Corey Rush, who is an NS conductor in the area, and his photo on Flickr kind of blew up and caused the whole thing. And there was a lot of people who actually thought it was photoshopped, which I thought was honestly really funny because it turned out to not be photoshopped.
I thought it was fake at first too, because like this is out of nowhere. It's from Canadian National, and like the last thing they did for quote unquote heritage for CN 100 was those red squares.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh,
yeah,
it's got to be. And then it's like,
this is just something that I don't think anybody really saw coming. Like, I mean, the last time that we got actual heritage units or more special painted stuff, I think, was the CP veterans units. And those aren't even heritage; those are just military veterans units.
Also the CP heritage units as well.
Those two. Well, but those are like they're heritage, but they're not full flag heritage.
They're heritage to themselves.
Yes. So, which I mean, the main question that I have with all this is what other units could we see coming from this? Because we already have a GT1. There's an IC and a BC Rail already in the works. So what else do you think? What do you think will come next, Jake?
I don't know what will come next, but we have a lot of CN's got a lot of options.
They do. They do.
EJ&E, DMIR, BNLE. I personally want to see a GM&O one.
GM&O, what is that?
Golf Mobile in Ohio.
Oh, is that orange?
They had two schemes. They were red and white, and then they also had a black and white scheme.
Okay.
Then they also had with their earlier equipment, they had like a two-tone reddish, orange, maroonish kind of look to it. If you look at pictures, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But if we're talking about, it seems like they're going for later paint schemes. So it would either be the red and white or the black and white scheme. If they were to do GM&O, that would be pretty dope. A BNLE one would be kind of cool. That would be cool.
It would be funny if that ended up on the Bessemer. That would be kind of funny, I think. But if you ask me, I feel like the Illinois
I'll
Central,
ask you.
um, the Illinois Central one is kind of a missed opportunity
Why is this?
because they could have used the paint the paint style from the
Team.
older like F units where it was like that.
It's in New Orleans paint.
Yeah,
The brown.
I think it would have been a lot cooler if they did that. I mean,
Well,
because I mean, like there's so many SD-70s Death Stars still rolling around, especially on the Bessemer. Of course, they're sending those two SD-70 M-2s down there, but I think it would have been more interesting if they went with that paint scheme rather than the black and white.
well, like I just said, I think what they're going for is late era schemes. They're not going for the super early ones, as we can tell with the BC Rail and
Right.
the. Oh, actually, that's kind of a lie because BC Rail did have that earlier scheme. It kind of stayed around, but like with the GT unit, because with GT they could have went the route with the original like green and yellow, like that slug unit and
Yeah,
stuff that came out
yeah.
recently. They could have done that. No, I kind of like the direction they're going with it. I think it's kind of cool, a little poetic on the GEs because with Death Star. Because remember, because the Blue Devils were for Illinois Central originally, right?
They were.
Yeah, they were Illinois Central, but they
That's
just
right,
never.
they were. Yeah.
They just never made it. It's kind of like so that's how the. Oh my God! Excuse me. It's kind of like, oh, so that's what those look like that actually got painted. Yeah, because if you notice on the Blue Devils, they say like IC on them.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I think some of CN's units that are actually in their scheme, some say IC or some say GTW on them.
Yeah, because I think they're originally for Illinois Central, but they never made it into because they're originally ex Conrail / LMS, their leasing service.
Right.
So it's like, so that's what that would look like if it went into Death Star. So I think it's really cool. I just don't like the fact that it's on an ET. Because it looks like they're just kind of plucking units and then picking random units. Like, okay, we're gonna paint this one.
Yeah, which
And,
I don't know if I like.
because they did the BC Rail one with like the normal style Jibo where it's like more flat on the
Yeah,
radius.
it's an ES-44. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's probably like I said, it's probably 2 or 4 credit, but like
most likely.
I like the look of that flatter, more like
I do too.
squared off look of that radiator compared to like the more just taller
Yeah,
radiator of the
it looks odd.
Because out of all of them, if Juno doesn't happen, the Dust Star probably would be my favorite one. But now it's on a tier 4. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I get it. I will say I like the GT on an M-2. I like that.
I'm just surprised at all of them for the GT. I think that's why it caught everyone by our. I went off guard because like it's such a bright scheme. It's just that bright blue, and the fact that when they did that first, uncovered nothing, and just like, oh hey, look, we did this now.
Yeah, which I mean, to be honest, CN was the last railroad that I think would expect to drop heritage units. And that's a statement considering considering CSX. Like I honestly figured that they would do it before CN. But I'm wondering if CP is gonna follow with their own fallen flag units.
I don't know because they already have like 8 of those freaking things in the original scheme,
Yes.
and then they have all their veteran units. So I think they might be done for now. I don't know if this is going to make them step up and do more. I don't see that happening, at least not anytime soon. It'd be kind of cool, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't that possibly mean a TH&B heritage unit, Jake?
If CP went ahead and did it, yes, it could.
Which I think would be cool.
Oh, I'd love that. It'd be amazing. But again, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know. I mean, railroads act in really, really funny ways nowadays. I mean, I don't like I said, like CN was the last railroad that I thought was going to actually do special painted units because they didn't have any up until now. So it's I don't know. It's cool to see, especially for us because. I mean, we do get a fair amount of CN traffic through Buffalo. I mean, aside from actual CN trains that come over the international bridge, but we do get a fair amount.
Which is like 2.
Well, I mean, true.
And that's only because one's returning and it's technically the same train, just one's returning.
Well, that too, but we also get a fair amount of CN power. So, I mean, we have a fair chance of actually seeing these things sometime in the near future. It's definitely possible. I mean, like, which is the cool thing
Yeah.
to me because it's for me it
I mean, if
makes
they're all are they all coming out of Dansville?
no because that was actually the discussion that was going on earlier was that the GT1 came out of Dansville. The ES44 and the ET44 are getting painted somewhere else, not at Dansville,
See, no, that's confusing. Why are they all being painted in different locations?
because there wasn't any there. According to what I was told and you were told, there were no GEs in Dansville.
Yeah, but it still doesn't explain why it's getting painted there, and then that one's getting painted. Like, I don't understand why we're doing this at different places. Why isn't it all just done in one spot and then getting released out then? Like, why is it getting done in multiple locations?
Maybe they want to get them all done at once.
Maybe, but it still doesn't explain why they're picking out random. If they're just picking out random units to do it, why not just pick out whatever set of units is at that current paint shop? And go, okay, we're gonna take these handful of dudes. We're just gonna repaint them.
Well, maybe just had whatever they saw lying around. It was just like, we'll just use this because considering that they used an SC70M-2, an ES44, and an ET44, I mean, they're kind of just going for what other modern units. I don't think they would use like an SD75I or anything like that because that wouldn't make sense.
No, I don't think they would either. But I know they're gonna use modern units. I don't think they're gonna use old units. But
No, they're probably gonna use M-2s in GEs if I had to guess. They're not gonna use anything smaller than that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I because they're mainline stuff. I wouldn't expect anything smaller either.
No,
out of it. But hey,
because I mean that's the whole point with like heritage units. You want people to like see them and stuff like that. So you're gonna want to put them on mainline power or actual road trains. That's basically what like NS did in UP. I mean, they put them on ACEs and ES44s, and I mean those things get around a lot. But
well, too much.
Well, some more than others. I mean, 2 or 3 of the UP units have never been in Buffalo or haven't been in Buffalo in the past 5 years. So, I mean, there's that. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm intrigued to see what other special paint schemes come out of this. Because they're clearly doing more than one. They're doing a bunch of them. So, I mean, like, and plus, what paint scheme might be, well, what units they might paint into those schemes. Because, I mean, it kind of seems like they're kind of just, going a little bit around and kind of just grabbing whatever they can.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any specific order or something,
No,
I'm not.
It's interesting. The thought process behind this to me is interesting.
It is. It is because you have no idea what's happening.
Well, no,
it's just kind of happening.
It's just the fact that like with UP, and you can say this about NS too. Well, mostly NS is that they did it, and they did it very systematically, where they did 10 ES44s and 10 SD70 Aces, and like that was it. But I mean, CN is doing an M-2, an ES44, and an ET44. I mean, there's probably going to be a lot of stuff like that, unless they're doing it like some ET44s, some ES44s, and some SD70 M-2s, and they're kind of doing it in like groups, like 3 groups, and then just doing however many they can for each or something like that. I don't know. This is all speculation. So I'm not trying to act like I know what's going on, but this is just my theory, if you will.
Adam, why are you trying to act like why are you trying to act like you know what's going on?
I don't have an explanation for it. I just I like to have theories. I like to maybe try and get into the inner minds of the higher ups at Canadian National and see what their thought process might be.
Canadians are weird. You're never gonna figure it out. You will never figure it out, my son.
But yeah, and Jake, any last thoughts on these?
Keep going.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah. Yeah. If on the off chance that anybody from Canadian National actually watches this,
which is really minimum,
which is incredibly, which is like it's like that much. It's incredibly slim. But if anybody's watching this, make more of these.
Wait a second. Wait. I saw about something. Oh wait. Wait, how many? They already did Illinois Central. Wait, Illinois Central Golf. I wonder if that might be a thing.
Maybe.
The orange and white, because I think that was like a merger between the Golf Mobile in Ohio and Illinois Central. So maybe.
Possibly. That there's a lot of different roads that they could take with this. I mean, The next few weeks I think are going to be very interesting to see what happens at Canadian National and see what they do. But this is a step in the right direction, especially for the rail fans, because I think Canadian rail fans and maybe some of the rail fans up in Michigan, Wisconsin, like that area where they get CN trains a lot, I think they'll definitely appreciate this more than anybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna switch railroads right here because this is something that I wanted to talk about
We're
actually.
diverging over, as you could say.
um,
Kill me.
the Bnsf 25th anniversary units that they unveiled. How long ago did they do that? There's actually a trains article here that I can pull up. This was in August that this happened.
2 months ago.
Yeah, so it'll be 10 locomotives with special paint schemes marking the railroad's 25th anniversary on its Facebook page. Posted 4 photos of GE ES44 ACs, number 5828, with a 25th anniversary label across the nose and side, as well as logos of predecessor railroads. BNSF says the other 9 units will have the same scheme. The railroad says the first locomotive will be operating as of tomorrow. So most of these are pretty much operating at this point. But if you ask me, this was such a missed opportunity on BNSF's part.
Yeah.
I just think they could have done like actual like different painted units instead of just making them into sticker units. Like I just think that this was such a big missed opportunity. I mean, I get it because they coordinated with Scale Trains, so Scale Trains could produce the models of these. But still, I mean, considering that you have Santa Fe, Burlington Northern, Northern Pacific, Great Northern, Burlington, SPNS, and like all Frisco,
Southern,
like,
yeah.
yeah, all those railroads. I mean, you could have had such interesting painted units, and the fact that they opted for this just it kind of disappoints me, and I think it disappointed a lot of people. What do you think, Jake?
Being a big fan of a lot of roads west, and particularly those that were BNSF heritage, a little bit. I mean, it's cool they did something. I do like what we got at the same time. Still, I think it's cool that you have like all the logos on there. But I feel like this is just kind of like upgrade from the heritage hoppers, because you remember BNSF has those heritage hoppers where they have such, for some reason, I don't even know why the heritage hoppers.
I don't really get them either, to be honest. Like,
oh, hey, look, we are just letting railroad logo on a hopper car. Look, guys, we got heritage units now. I heard the reason why they something about, I don't know how true this is. Someone told me like, oh, they were originally going to actually do individual paint schemes, but then COVID happened. I'm like,
yeah,
but how does that make any sense though? I feel like that
just seems like a
why
stretch.
they didn't. I feel like that was just an excuse as why they didn't do it. It wasn't the actual reason. It was kind of like an excuse, not to do it. And I don't even know what the excuse is, considering the fact that those came out and then CN did them. And now CN's doing them, I should say. And now, like, kind of, like, I'm surprised BNSF did them before CN, but then BNSF was kind of lackluster, and then CN's coming in literally one-upping them.
Yeah,
now,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, maybe CN saw it as an opportunity for them to kind of one up their game a little bit, because I think it goes without saying that when these things got unveiled, there was a lot of unhappy rail fans in the community. I think especially West Coast rail fans, because this is something that would be on their doorstep all the time.
And they're not really identifiable unless you look at them from the broad sides of the engine. I mean, they do say 25th anniversary on the bottom. Of the swoosh on the noses, but other than that, you really can't tell unless you look at them from the direct broadside of them.
I mean, if you ask me, seeing like a crescent green, or no, not crescent, cascade green. I apologize. A cascade green ES44 or like a war bonnet ES44
which is basically a war bonnet -9 essentially.
Yeah, but like seeing like one in like fresh paint like that would be really, really cool to see.
Oh God, yes, yes. But no, I will say this: with the orientation of the logos, I think it was clever, because if you look at them, it has the BN logo, then the Santa Fe logo on it. So BNSF. So I'm like, okay,
That and
That
they also
that was
have
clever.
like
I like
they
that.
also have them like categorized because on the BN side you have Great Northern, Northern Pacific, and Burlington, which were the three
Basically,
railroads that became BN.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Frisco. What are the other ones? Because I keep getting Colorado and Southern, and then the
Well, it's weird
Seattle,
because
Portland, and Spokane, I believe.
I don't think they were specifically orientated just in that sense. I think the three on the one side were in that sense because it became BN, but like SPNS, I think got absorbed by got absorbed by MP or somewhere along that line. I mean, all of those basically went into BN. Santa Fe's kind of the odd one out because Santa Fe was still on its own, but all those were essentially absorbed into BN.
Well, yeah. I
Because
mean,
Colorado and Southern was just a subsidiary of CB&Q. That's all
oh,
Colorado
that
Southern
makes
was.
sense. Well, I mean,
Like,
I mean,
do you remember that CB&Q SD40 I had? I used to have it. I sold to my friend. Massive one.
uh,
The red and gray one.
the red and gray one. I don't think so. No.
Okay, I had a red and gray CB&Q SD40 for a bit. It was my first sound engine. I sold them as I got my 40R at the time, but they were for CNS. They were in CB&Q band, but it had the markings on it that said CNS on the bottom.
Okay.
So like to indicate that that's what they belong to. And a lot of units on CB&Q had them like that.
I mean, the other thing with Santa Fe too is, I mean, like there was a lot of like merger plans that didn't actually happen. Like Trains Magazine came out with an article within the past few months that I read about because they talked about the failed merger between the Santa Fe and the Southern Pacific, and Santa Fe wanted to merge or wanted to buy out Mopac, no, not Mopac, Western Pacific, but then they merged with UP, and then Santa Fe looked to Southern Pacific, and then UP ended no, well that ended up not working out, and then SP went with UP, and then Santa Fe was just kind of on their own until the 90s when
Because Santa Fe was a little dying-ish at the end. They were kind of the dying railroad, and BN kind of saved them
well,
in that deal.
well,
But
I mean Santa Fe had probably been a railroad since almost the very beginning of railroads in this country. I mean,
if Santa Fe was still around, they'd probably be as old as UP.
yeah, I mean,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, UP has been a thing since the 1860s. I mean, Santa Fe probably has to be a thing since probably right around that time period, I think.
no, I think no, it is 1816 something. I think. Let me look up Santa Fe code. Look it up here. 1859. So
Yeah,
probably even older than UP, honestly.
let me see, because I'm just curious now.
Yeah, it'd be older.
Really?
1862. They'd be 3 years older if they were still around.
Yeah. Which,
Wow.
which is it's crazy to think about how it's for me. It's crazy to think that UP is that old. And ironically enough, its founder was Abraham Lincoln, according to Wikipedia.
Well, probably because they helped found that Railroad Act and stuff. So, I mean, I can believe it.
Well, yeah, because I think because
I mean, the Union Pacific.
well, that actually just blew my mind. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that makes so much sense, actually.
I just thought about that now. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
that
I
actually makes a
literally
whole lot of
the
sense.
Union Pacific.
Yeah,
I just thought about that now too.
that's
That's
actually well, yeah, because I think because not long after that was Lincoln approved the Transcontinental. I want to say it was almost in 1863. I think is when it was like when the idea for that was created, and then it didn't get finished until like 6 years later. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Yeah, we signed the Pacific Railroad Act. Union Pacific had been building America for. Okay, yeah. So that actually just blew my mind. Okay, wow. Fun fact for anybody who's watching this who didn't know that. There you go. But that actually makes a whole lot of sense.
welcome to Science Railroad Facts
Science.
Hour. I don't know, but yeah. Oh, now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Like, why Union Pacific? Like, well, it was the Union going to the Pacific.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's actually. It's
This is.
it's crazy.
I think we just broke. I think we just broke the simulation. I don't think we were supposed to know this.
I don't think we were supposed to know that either.
I think the simulation is falling apart now.
It's interesting that it took us that long to figure that out. Like I didn't think that, but I mean, I don't know. I think one of the reasons that they did these units the way that they did also was because of the whole deal that they had with scale trains. Because I think that might have scale trains might have kind of limited them to what they could do possibly. But
Yeah.
that's just me. I mean, Scale Trains is very good at their job. That's a very good company, and their products are very, very good. Now, I don't want to seem like I'm hating on Scale Trains or anything like that, but I just feel like that they were
Well,
probably
are they the ones who actually designed them? Or like, I don't know how the
That's
whole
the
deal
thing.
went.
I don't know how
Who
the whole deal
designed them?
went. I want to almost say it was Scale Trains. I want to say it was them.
But we don't know. We know it was a partnership. It was
Yeah.
giving models, but I don't know who designed them.
No, but I think Scale Trains had a definitely a hand in the design factor. But I mean, then again, Scale Trains did also come out with the CSX Spirit units not that long ago too. So I mean, I don't
Well,
think
they also announced them with the Gevos.
yeah. So I don't think they're afraid of doing custom not like custom, but like special painted units because that was their first special painted units that they had ever done ever was the CSX Spirit units.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like the aren't all the units they did beforehand special painted because well, they did a lot of old ones like 45s and tunnel motors, and those are all in different paint schemes.
Well,
So it's not like they're not used to doing different painted locomotives, and they know for a fact that those locomotives will sell. So I don't see why they wouldn't.
yeah. I mean,
They're a toy train company that are made to make these really bright, colorful, eye-attracting models, and they know these ones are popular. So it's like, hey, this would be a bad idea not to make them.
well then going off of that, and then it's just like, I don't know that.
I wonder how many comments are going to yell at me for calling Scale Trains a toy train company.
Yeah, I probably. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Leave a comment down below if you actually agree with what Jake is saying or not.
They're probably not.
They're probably not going to, but I mean,
I'm going to start a
but
real storm here.
I don't know. I look at every time I look at one of these 25th anniversary units, is that it's just such a missed opportunity. The Bnsf could have done so much with those, and they didn't, and that's like the most upsetting thing. Because personally, I've always liked the BN Cascade Green because I remember growing up, I had Trains 2006 on my computer, and
oh boy,
I always
I know where they're going.
I always used the BN
SD40-2s. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, those and the Santa Fe ones, the Santa Fe Blue Bonnets in that game. I would use those all the time.
So what you're saying is the only two SD40-2s in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I think they had CM ones too, but
yeah, they did.
They get the point.
They might have had I don't think they had CP ones, but
no.
No, they had all the heritage CP stuff, but good game. Trains 2006 for the time. That was a good
I didn't start till 2010.
I started with Trains North American edition.
I like BN a lot because me and my dad, we also have some G scale. And like the first G scale stuff I knew and always used to pull out was these old, because Lionel actually did some decent G scale back in like the 90s, and they made some Jeep 20s and it did BN Jeep 20s, and we have a pair of them in G scale. And those are like the G scale ones I always use. So that's why I always like BN, is because I always had those essentially around. So me and my dad really like BN because of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think there's still opportunity for them to do heritage units. I don't think that they can't just because they did these, but it's probably very unlikely that they would.
My one thing too is, well, I'm upset. I'm not really either, because Bnsf has enough original painted power still running around to where it kind of balances out.
This is also true.
I mean, the war bonds are kind of on their last leg, which is unfortunate, but there's still couple blue/yellow bonnets running, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, there's
a
lot of
BNs.
Yeah,
running around.
A lot of EMD stuff still floating around.
Like right now in Minnesota, it's like a friggin' there's a lash up, a local lash up pulling manifest up in Minnesota where it's just 3 BN at 40s.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Because one of your friends photographed it, didn't they?
Yeah, that was Jake did with like a 40, a Jeep 30, and something out, and like an RG.
Yeah.
But no, this is 3 like BN SD40s.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the only power
which is really, really cool. I mean, that's one of the good things about BNSF is that, I mean, they still have a lot of that stuff floating around. I mean, I don't know how many of the executive Macs are still around.
Probably not a lot. I know a lot of those went for leasers.
A
I
lot
think
of
a
those
couple
went
of
to
them
a lot of them
came
went to
back out. But
PRLX. I know
I
that.
think I think some of them came back out for a bit though.
Maybe. I mean, that's also we don't know how many they even have in storage. They could have a
Well,
bunch of
I
them in
remember
storage too.
when I was in Galesburg like 2 years ago, I saw a ton of them sitting in the power tracks. Just
In,
tons of them
like
just
in like
chilling.
in like in storage or in
I
active
don't.
service.
Those are technically storage tracks, but
Yeah. So
oh,
well, yeah.
there's a
So
lot
I'm
of them.
saying they could have. They got lots of. I mean, I was looking at photographs of deadlines in Bailey Yard on UP, and there was a 90 Mac in there still. So you'd be surprised what is actually in deadlines on railroad still. There's some stuff in there that you wouldn't even think is there, because I didn't think there would be any UP 90 Max left. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I like them because I mean it's different. It's different for BNSF. I mean, obviously, being where we are in the country, we don't see really any of that uh, patched unit. Any of
We
the
used
patching.
to.
Well, yeah, but this is also in the era of precision scheduled railroading, and you don't and power doesn't shift around as much as it used to anymore. The thing is, I mean, just with how railroads operate now, it's a lot of power doesn't get switched over on trains. It kind of just like that's just how the times are. Which is it's unfortunate that it has to be that way because probably 10 years ago you could probably see engines like that floating around here. I mean, you saw that patched blue bonnet. Was that patched for BNSF or was that patched for something else?
BNSF. It was before. I think it was on its way to LTEX, but it
Okay.
was still BNSF patch. That's another thing. That's another thing to go back to these original paint units. I like BNSF's patching. It's very subtle and it blends into the paint scheme.
This is true. I mean, they literally would just go underneath the numbers on the cab and just put BNSF.
Well, on the blue bonnet stuff, it's in big blue letters along like the bottom steps towards like the front on the outside of the nose, like in those step areas on the cab.
Yeah.
And on the war bonnets, it'd just be this tiny little yellow BNSF underneath the numbers, and like
Yeah.
even then, those are like faded away by now.
Oh yeah.
So that's another reason like BNSF. Their patching was very subtle and it blended into the scheme, so you wouldn't even know it was there, and it really doesn't ruin the effect. Where most roads, it's box of the road's primary color and then
Right.
the number, which again, it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just what it is.
Yeah. Beggars
It
can't be
makes
choosers. But
it's a
yeah.
business. They gotta do that.
Yeah. I mean, it all comes down to money. That's the thing with these rail companies. But Jake, any final thoughts on these units?
I like the missed opportunity. Could have been better, but they're still kind of cool. 6 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think
The end outclassed you.
that is, yeah, at this point in the game, CN's kind of doing better than BNSF now. But we're gonna move on to subjects here. And Jake, this is the one thing that I wanted to talk about for you actually was the your business with the Reading 2100 restoration project. Do you want to explain your hand in that at all?
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I won a T-shirt contest. I won that T-shirt contest that they had recently for the engine's 75th anniversary, and I made a design for that T-shirt. I made a design, and then the guys liked it and they picked it. So now they're selling that as a T-shirt.
Yeah, which you asked me that's pretty cool because that's not like
Yeah. Put a link down below.
yeah there will be
All the proceeds go towards the restoration of 2100. I just made the design and won stuff out of it. So
right. Yeah, I'll put a link in the description of this video to the shirt that Jake designed.
Show them the shirt. The picture. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there on the screen. Whoa, look at that.
Right
yeah, look at it quickly. Else it's gonna go away. Take a screenshot if you want. Hell, click on that link. Go buy one if you want. If you like it so much, and it's gone. Look at that. It's already gone. They missed it. Now they have to rewatch that whole thing over again.
But yeah, like Jake said, all the proceeds from that go to the restoration project of Reading 2100, which is a 484 T1 Northern that is currently being restored. Is that the one in Cleveland?
Yes, it is the one in Cleveland.
That is the one in Cleveland. Yeah. There
That's the one
is
that under construction. It's 1868.
but there are two currently under restoration, 2100, which is in Cleveland, and 2102, which is being restored at the shops on the RB&M, the Reading Blue Mountain.
Reading Blue Mountain. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Reading Blue Mountain in Northern.
Okay, that's good. That's what I thought you said.
What'd you think I said?
I thought you said reading at first.
No, it's Reading.
You said reading at first.
Oh. Yeah.
And you can rewatch the video just to prove myself. And you said
somebody watch that back. Put it in the comments. What did I say in that clip? But
you said reading. First time.
Yeah. So there's currently two in restoration right now, and of course we also have 2124 at Steamtown, which is just
2102 is a lot farther along than 2100. I hate to say it, but it is.
Well,
I mean I think had a hydro recently.
What does that mean?
It means they ran water through the boiler to make sure nothing leaked.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. They're actually a lot farther in that process than I thought had. I know because there was a photo of 2100, I think, outside somewhere, and it looked like it was kind of all in one piece. I think it was 2100. It might not have been.
I probably think it was all gray, primered up.
Maybe. Yeah.
It was probably 2102.
That could have been. But to me, the cool thing is to see two identical locomotives being restored at the exact same time, because that's not something you would see nowadays. I mean, you have projects like the Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation, which is restoring 2716, the C&O Berkshire.
But you say that but like we already have two identical engines running around. That's 1225 and 765. Not the same type of engine, both different. They all have their slight differences, but essentially the same design.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like to have,
but not for the same road.
Yeah, if you have
two engines, the same class for the same road.
Yeah, to have two identical locomotives for the exact same road being restored at the exact same time, to me is pretty neat. Because you don't see anything like that. I mean, you have 2716, like I mentioned. You have 576 in Kentucky.
What? I'm sorry, in Nashville, you mean?
Why I said Kentucky because I was talking
because you're just talking about
sorry, I apologize in Nashville because it's the New York, Chattanooga, and St. Louis.
I'm sorry, you say New York?
Is it New York or is it no?
It's not New York.
It's something. I'm not doing good today, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. What is it?
Nashville, Chattanooga,
and St. Louis. I'm sorry. It's been a while since we recorded one of these, and I'm a bit rusty. Okay, it's I apologize if I offended anybody. I didn't mean to. You know. There's literally
We don't take pity to your kind here.
I literally have these three things above my desk. It's a Norfolk Southern, a Conrail, and a CSX, and there's pictures of like each company's locomotive, and under it is all the companies that they took over at some point. And on the CSX one is the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis. And the funny part about that is that I've literally said Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis in every other circumstance except just now because I said New York for some reason.
It's because you suck.
No, because you know what I was thinking of at the same time? I was thinking of nickel plate.
Oh, because New York, Chicago.
That's New York.
Chicago, yeah, because New York, Chicago, and St. Louis.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, see, because
that's literally two letters off from being the same name.
Exactly. But I just think it's. I mean, in the past like 2 to 3 years, there's been a lot of steam restoration projects come up recently.
With varying degrees of progress and/or failures and/or.
Yeah, I mean it's cool to see that people actually care about stuff like that. I mean, going off of that,
hell, we have an extinct engine being built from the ground up.
Yeah, the T1 project.
They're moving right along.
The Pennsy T1, but
yeah, it's different T1. They actually without the dash.
They got part of the boiler done on that, which is very, very interesting.
They had a good chunk of the boiler. Yeah. I mean, it's not done, but like it's getting there. It's close.
It is. I think the day that I'll be excited is when they finally get that long haul tender out of North Collins that they're using.
Well, I think they said they want to have at least a frame made for the engine or something like that. I think there's a deal with that. They want to get a good chunk of the engine done that includes a frame before they actually pluck the tender out of North Collins.
Yeah, because that'll be there will be a lot of people.
But that's going to be the hard part is the frame because one, you really can't.
It's one.
I think they're going to have. I don't think they're gonna be able to do that. I think they're gonna have to do it in sections, but they're gonna make it so it seems like one, or it's still structurally as strong as one. But because I don't think they can physically make a cast mold of that magnitude anymore.
No, probably not. I mean, they could definitely do it in sections. I mean, this is by no means the exact same thing, but I was watching a documentary about when they restored Flying Scotsman in 2016, and they literally had to rebuild like 3/4 of the front of it. They had to rebuild the frame completely, or no, they had to cut it off and then put a new piece on. They literally welded it, so you can definitely weld the frame together, I think, if you do it the right way, because it's been done before on Flying Scotsman, and you can definitely do it on probably an engine of much bigger magnitude. Then again, I'm by no means an expert, so you take that with a grain of salt, if you will.
I don't know. I think we have a mess. I forget what it was, but I don't think welding is. You gotta be a really good welder if you want to make the welds can stay.
Well, like I said, they welded on a whole new front end on a Flying Scotsman on the frame of that thing, and that thing.
Is it the same frame though?
What
it's currently using right now? Is it the same frame, or is it a different frame it's on right now?
This is when it was rebuilt in 2016.
So is that the current frame it's using?
Yes. But like it was no, and the frame before that was original from 1923. And it was just so it was in such bad condition that they literally cut off the front of it and then built a whole new part and welded it. But everything on the back was original. But yeah, we can talk about that at a whole nother point.
Well, Flying Scotsman's own is its own controversial top in the fact that how much of that engine is actually original.
The drive wheels are original. The rods are original.
Boiler, it's like on its third boiler.
Part of the frame is original.
Part of the frame.
Yeah, no, it's on its 18th boiler.
18th?
Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, I mean that thing's been through several rebuilds. But I mean, Flying Scotsman, it's more of just it's more just the name. The name is just famous. Maybe not the locomotive, but
the Scotsman was a service, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It's
not particularly.
We can talk about this on a whole different.
Yeah, Flying Scotsman is its own topic.
Yeah, we can discuss it. Comment down below. Do you guys want us to do a Flying Scotsman episode on this? Because we will gladly do it. Because actually, in the past few months, I've actually been doing a lot of reading and research on British steam locomotives and their history.
Have you watched any Chris Eating Green yet?
Not yet. I'm working on that still.
Oh my god, watch Chris Eating Green. Buy his DVDs. You will not disappoint.
Let's talk about another steam project going on, and this one I think shocked a lot of people was Sino 1309.
What about
it? The fact that how far along it is, and when
and the fact that they dented up the boiler trying to put it on the frames because of the cranes, and they just patched that hole.
Wait. You
didn't see that? Okay.
No.
Do you remember when they were dropping the locomotive down on its front section?
Yes.
And they had the chains wrapped on the boiler?
No, but okay.
Okay, well, there's chains and hooks up of the cranes holding on the boiler going in position. And when they're loading the boiler in position, the cranes are up against the side of the jacketing. And basically, wherever those hooks were, created dents in the jacketing. And then all they did was take another piece of sheet metal and just bolt it over the dent. So you can clearly see there was a dent. There was something happened there at one point because this little patch is into it and blends in, but bolt marks and stuff.
I mean, here's the thing.
And now I forget the reason, but now they're asking for more money. It's like, wait a second, you guys wanted $30,000? I think we're almost done.
Yeah, because I mean, didn't they literally have that thing
basically done,
steamed up at one point?
But yeah, what do you need another $30,000 for? I think it was $30,000.
Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't surprise. Well, here's the thing: the 1309 project has just been riveted with controversy and scandal for God knows how long.
I don't know about scandal, but controversy. Well, hang on, I have a meme for this.
There was the whole thing where the money and everything just disappeared, and nobody knew what happened.
Oh, I know. It went towards vending machines in a pretty painted Jeep 30. Here, Adam, I have a meme for this.
Okay.
Here's the meme. This is WMSR with 1309. Because another thing either, WMSR isn't the guys restoring the engine. That's why some other people, I think it's Steam Operations Corp. They're not the one actually doing restoration. But I don't know. They keep talking about money and stuff. I don't know the whole relationship. It's all confusing. And what do you need more? Now I don't.
Yeah,
They
so-
were spending attention for how many years, and they keep asking for more. I get it. These projects need more and more money, but like now you guys are making all these posts and stuff like that. You seem like you're at the other end, and all of a sudden we need our 30 grand.
yeah,
What?
I mean, from what I saw, like when 1309 was like being talked about a lot, they almost had that thing like 90% done. They just had to like put the rest of it back together, which like I don't understand. Like I don't know, but
That thing should have never left the B&O museum.
yeah, I mean,
I think the reason why they picked it is I think it was the last. I think it was the last locomotive to roll out of Baldwin. Last steam locomotive to roll out of Baldwin.
I think that is the thing. Yes, I believe that is the thing with that. I mean, because if you because I think the big topic about that was like it'd be the only like operating mallet in North America.
Mallet. I'm sorry. You want to say that again?
What?
No, it's Malay. It's
Malay.
It's French. It's not a hammer.
I'm not French.
It's not a hammer.
Right? I'm not French.
Okay. Educate yourself. It's Malay.
I know it's Malay.
Antoine Malay is the man who invented
call it
the
a
idea.
mallet.
Well, you know what? You're just dumb because that's not how you say it. Open up your mind, you cheap American.
But
it's not a hammer.
It would be the only operating mallet in North America. Is that better for you? I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Well, no, wait. What's skookum?
What?
Skookum.
What is that even? What?
It's a locomotive out at it's a logging 2442. It's out and it runs mostly I think in Niles Canyon. But is it a Malay?
No, I don't think it is.
No,
I know what you're talking about. I don't think it is.
With the green boiler. No, I think it is. It is a Malay because it's got the lower pressure cylinder up front and the higher pressure in the back because that's a complex articulate is a Malay technically. So yes, that is a Malay, I believe. I'm gonna say yes because that's how that works.
Honestly, if they were gonna, I mean, if I literally,
it'll be the only articulated operating on the eastern coast. Now,
maybe that's what it was. I'm making claims I can't back up in this episode. We're just, it's been a long 8 months since we recorded the last one, and I'm not up to my usual game with these. But
we're hoping we're trying to bank on more time on those heritage units.
We were, but I was gonna try and have something else to talk about. But then today, as we're recording this, was the CN heritage units, and I was just like, we got to talk about this. Like, we got to record an episode today and like get this done.
And now I go on my daily 1309 rant. I have an excuse to say why this project is just all over the place.
If I had a choice for like any Malay like still around that would like I would restore like no matter what, like if I could choose one, NW 2156.
See, the big problem with Malays is rod destruction.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what you could say.
Well, no, I'm
not
saying,
like the rod. I'm saying like just the damaging you do on the rail, especially from Malays, because you have those two different pressure cylinders on them.
I mean, like this is like a hypothetical. Like if I had the choice to like have any locomotive still around restored that was a Malay, that's what I would do.
Not Malay, but if I had picked an articulate, it'd be an Allegheny. But
it wouldn't be it wouldn't be a cat forward.
Now, here's the thing. I'm telling you because we're still in the East Coast here right now.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, fair enough.
The problem is, I would, but I wouldn't because oh my god, the damage those things do on track. Oh
but isn't track more
upright really.
And more sturdy than it was?
It's not that it's sturdy. It's still gonna do damage. Over 600 tons of locomotive is gonna do damage to it. No matter, I don't care how high tech it is or how modern the track is. It's over 600 tons of locomotive is going to hurt it. It's going to hurt it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But then again...
I mean, that's another reason why Lima was sued over those was the weight, because they lied about the... Not only they lied, they were wrong about the weight. Because I guess on some railroads, engineers were paid by tonnage of how much the locomotive weighed. That would base your pay for that job. Would be based on how much it weighs. So basically, a lot of C&O crews found out the engine was much heavier than what they were being paid for.
Hmm.
So there's no reason Sino sued Lima for lying about the weight of the locomotive. Because a lot of crews didn't get paid the proper amount.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I feel like when those things were operating, track conditions were completely different.
They were still up to date. I mean, they weren't crap. I mean, what's the difference between the track then and now?
If we're talking in general, I mean, concrete ties.
Okay, but those aren't everywhere. It's mostly the West Coast right now.
Welded rail.
What?
Welded rail.
It's still banging on it. That doesn't matter if it's not connected or not. You're still doing a lot of pressure on that section of rail, wherever it's going to be.
Yeah, but I feel like jointed rail makes that much more of an issue.
Not really. Your pressure on the rail is still pressure on the rail, no matter what it is, whether it's jointed or welded. Welded doesn't make it stronger. It's just a different way of connecting it.
Yeah, but I feel like it solidifies it and kind of makes it a little bit more sturdy.
I mean, a little bit, but again, 600 tons is 600 tons. A singular pressure point weight of that much on that section, it's still going to do damage to it. And it's going to do a lot of damage to it. Well, it's not going to do damage. It's going to do a lot of wear and tear. Do a lot more than your average GEVO. And in the areas where it would probably be running, if it were to be restored, it would still be on almost the original track that it used to run on. Like, there wouldn't be concrete ties underneath it. It would be wood ties. Soaking that good old.
I'm just speaking like how updated trackage is compared to like now versus then.
I mean, really, difference is welded rail. Really, I mean, we still use similar rail joints and ties and spikes and all that. Nothing. The only thing that's really changed, at least on the East Coast, that hasn't upgraded to concrete ties yet, is welded rail. How much is really different? I mean, other than signalage, obviously, and all that, but we're talking about just rails itself.
I mean, Northeast Corridor is still pretty.
You're not going to run an Allegheny in Northeast Corridor.
Well, no, but I'm saying, I mean, that's probably some of the most updated rail in the country. Considering how long that right of way has existed since Pensy, which I want to say they use some of the original signaling on that still. I think. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But if that were to actually happen, like hypothetically, if an Allegheny were to be restored and it were to run, I would be very interested to see what the results would be.
Not great. I mean, you get crowd turnout, but in terms of weird, I mean, even though those things were put on coal drags, they did state that if given the opportunity, they could go as fast as 60, which is kind of terrifying thinking about it. In my mind, like, yeah, we've seen big boys go fast and stuff, but Allegheny going fast, even though they were built and probably could do it, it's an unsettling thought.
Yeah,
I'd be terrified to be in that going 60.
Well, a big boy was also longer than an Allegheny. An Allegheny was heavier, but a big boy was longer.
Yeah, not by much though.
Well, no, but I mean,
because Allegheny had to be built to the turntable. That's why Allegheny's tender was shorter, and why it was given. Because if you notice on the Allegheny tender, the front truck on the tender is a 6-axle, and the rear axle is a 3-axle, and the rear one's a 4-axle. Did you never notice that?
No.
Yeah, the tender front truck's 3 axles, rear axles 4, because it has to be shorter but still hold the weight of all of its coal and water, because that fit on their turntables, and we're going to rebuild all the turntables for one engine.
True.
Let me look up. Now I'm gonna look this up. 132 feet is big boy. Allegheny's 125, so it's only shorter by 7 feet. And again, probably most of that is from tender.
Yeah, probably. Well,
I mean, I even compared an Allegheny, a Cap Horn, and a big boy. They're about the same length.
Well, an Allegheny is a 2.666.
Yeah.
I mean, a big boy's 4.884. I mean, and those things had 69-inch drivers.
Allegheny had how big? Let me look this up now. Welcome to the Allegheny big boy battle.
We could honestly make a whole episode just talking about larger, like, articulate locomotives.
Now I'm doing the research. Now this is what we're coming to. Now chipping it off.
If you guys want us to see us do an episode on articulated locomotives, leave it in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned about like 5 or 6 things you guys should leave in the comments.
60. How big are big boys drivers?
69.
67. They do. Alleghany's had some of the largest boilers made. I think they had like a 9-foot diameter boiler.
A 9-foot diameter boiler?
Just about close.
Those
things boilers are massive. That's one reason they were so heavy.
Okay, hang on. 90.
Have you seen an Allegheny in person? No. I've seen both of them.
No.
They're big. I've seen it both in Allegheny and Big Boy in person.
But that's a lot of overhang on the rail. A 9-foot diameter boiler?
Only 9 foot.
Standard gauge is 4 foot 8.5 inches. Think about how much overhang that would be on a 9-foot boiler.
A 9-foot by 15-foot diameter 9-foot by 15-foot diameter firebox.
How wide were these things?
Wide. Have you seen one in person?
No, I gotta go to a B&O museum.
Or Henry Ford. I've seen both of them. They are not skinny. That's the thing about. See, that's the problem. We usually use the big boy. Big boys, what they are, they have skinny boilers for what they are. They're not really. That's kind of one of the things. They probably had a thicker boiler. They probably could get more power out of them. Yeah, the firebox is 9 by 15 feet. So I mean, that's at least a 9-foot diameter boiler right there.
Which to me is insane. But I know I'd have to see one in person to actually do this. But I think we're gonna wrap it up there before we get onto a tangent about another thing that we could. I mean, we can make a whole episode on articulate locomotives. I think, which I could think would be a very interesting episode, and maybe we'll do that in the future. But yes. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, we're gonna have more of these coming in the future. Don't worry.
You know what though? That would be a good topic because there's always that argument which engine's technically the biggest. Because, again, I can go into it in the future, but again, that's the big thing about I think that'd be a good episode where we talk about what engine is biggest in what category. Because Big Boy's the biggest, but it's not like the biggest. You know what I mean? It's the biggest, but it's not. It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
But again, that's a whole topic.
We'll do a whole episode dedicated to articulate locomotives in the future. Don't worry. But I want to thank Jake for joining me. As always. Big thank you to him. He makes these episodes possible. Otherwise, I would just be sitting here talking to myself the entire time.
Well, yeah. Last couple we had Josh and Mark on, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll try and get some more people in the future as well. But I appreciate you all for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'm Adam, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey.